broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Got a secret, can you keep it? Swear this one you say.
I feel like
gotta lock it in your pocket, taking this one to the grave. No starting till you sing.
I'm not singing tonight.
You got it. Don't tell me what you say. Just to
all right, you got me. You got me to do a line. Next week we'll go for. All right. I love your singing. It gets better every season, so that's amazing. Well, hello, after. I know, I can tell. In the off season, you're really taking care of that practice. It's amazing.
We're proud.
Okay, well, hello, AfterBuzzers. If you can't tell, another season of Pretty Little Liars for you all on AfterBuzz TV, and you can always find us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and YouTube. Rate, comment, let us know what you're thinking. This show is getting dark. Let me say, so crazy.
Not even slowly.
It's dark. It was a dive in tonight right. For sure. The episode Game on Charles, and we quickly kind of knew last about Charles, and then we're getting more, and that's all I want from this season, is to figure out who Charles is.
Yeah.
That being said, if you want to get more involved with AfterBuzz, there's a great way to do it. Go on podcast1.com and let us know what you're thinking. You can take a quick survey there. It helps us kind of figure out what we're doing well and maybe not so well on our show, and we just love hearing from you guys, your theories, your thoughts, all of that. It will take you about 3 minutes, so it's a quick little jump in for sure.
And then tweet us and let us know you did it.
Yay. Exactly, and we'll retweet that because we love. This is a table full of people who love to retweet. Let's be honest. And favorite. We're all about it. So tweet us and let us know what you're thinking. And of course, I'm Stephanie Wenger, and you can find me on Twitter at Stephanie Wenger.
I'm Kristin Strange, and you can find me on Twitter at Kristin Strange.
And I'm Heather Joy Smith, and you guys can find me on Twitter at Heather Joy Smith.
Exactly. Yay. So excited to be back for another season with you all. Although I have to say that this feels like a completely different show from
it's not the same show.
Season 1 or 2. It felt like a horror episode. It was just very intense. We all kind of said it as we were watching.
Yeah. I could not stop watching to even take notes for us to chat about. Like, I was so focused. Dragged you into the TV. Like, I just could not take my eyes off of it the whole entire show.
Yeah, I took 2 notes. Mona gets saved with gas mask. Second note, police seem to be doing something good.
I mean,
fantastic notes.
What our listeners may not know is that I'm a big note taker, and tonight I have like 1 page, which is
and normally they're like 3 or 4.
You pretty much didn't take notes. For you pretty much did.
I'm a huge note taker. I'll admit that, and tonight is not so great on that front.
I felt like I was there. I couldn't stop being there. I was like, I have to run. I have to get out of the dollhouse.
Yeah, I felt like we were in there.
They did a great job with kind of the camera angles and all of that to make you feel enclosed. And also
a little bit too much.
We were also watching in a trailer, which may have played into that feeling a bit. I will say that in full disclosure. Have to say, I really am interested to see where this season goes, because it's such a different tone than what we've ever seen before on Pretty Little Liars, and they teased it in the off season that it was going to be this darker show, and you saw that from minute 1.
Mm-hmm.
I know. I read so many interviews just with Janelle had done an interview and a couple other people, and they just said it's going to be so dark. It's going to be just completely different than any other season. So I feel like we're going to have a lot more of this.
Yeah.
Well, it's so funny because I was talking to a few friends about coming in and doing the show again today, and they were all saying, "Oh, I think it's the first episode of the season. It's probably going to be a slow one. Pretty Little Liars, they have 24 more episodes that they need to fill." And I was like, "Oh yeah." And then I walked in here, and it was like it felt like a season finale. It was so crazy. And in some ways, I felt like it left me more questions than the season finale did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From season
almost.
5. Yeah.
We have a whole 3 weeks missing from this episode that are unaccounted for. We have no idea what happened in those 3 weeks, and I need to know.
Yeah. So let's jump into that and talk about, of course, Allison has been acquitted, let off of these murder charges, and we see that she's making a public statement about being let off, and everybody's kind of in shock, I want to say, around her.
Yeah.
And we don't, I mean, I guess in shock because she's being let off, but there felt like there was something else going on there.
Yeah.
And also, I think that this was the first time she's spoken about her friends, and she's like the missing link of the 4 of them.
Right.
So, thinking about her friends missing, who had at that point been missing for a month. And so it's looking kind of grim.
Right, I agree with that. The girls, though, are really, I just felt like in some ways it was worse than prison.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. And I want to know what happens, like, in the time that we're off. So because we see them in there, we see them all together, we see them, dying outside, and then when they finally get taken back in and they all scream when they get behind their doors, I want to know what happened.
Yeah.
What do you think? Any thoughts?
I have no idea. I don't know how dark to go because I have nothing to like go off of.
I feel like, okay, so it got really dark when it started raining outside. They were left out there for several days with no food or water. And I feel like their expressions when they came out of this than that. So whatever happened behind those doors, I feel like is worse than them sitting outside for 3 or 4 days with no food or water.
I have to wonder if it was the masked figure that we saw.
Yeah, here's the thing, though. I'm wondering if it can be him, because so far we've only seen one of him, and there's 4 of them, and they all screamed when they got behind their doors. So I'm thinking that there's got to be, like...
trick windows and things that... like maybe they could all see a reverse mirror or where they could all see the same thing. I don't.
Oh yeah, maybe.
I kind of want a blueprint of that dollhouse because it just felt like there was always a new door or something going on, and it doesn't look that large, and yet there was always a new door.
And I feel like there's a lot of like illusions going on, like you said, with like the mirrored walls. And then, like you said, it can't be that big because it's all underground now that we know in this park.
Yeah.
But it seems huge. And then I'm kind of questioning, where was that barbed wire electrical fencing?
Right.
When they all came in, it was like seemed to be gone.
Right. And so...
well, that has to be another exit of it.
I imagine so, but... park, and this is really getting into like the logistical whatever of it. You're in a park, so you have this barbed wiring in a park, which seems odd. Like you generally in like at least like most parks, you don't see that. And then this underground passage, it seemed obvious from above ground. It wasn't just like a hole that they all like kind of...
I feel like the city would know about that.
Yeah.
It was a state park. Like, isn't there rules?
I was going to say, like, someone would call on that, right?
Let's be
like,
real. This is also Rosewood still, so...
True. But in like the season finale, when they showed the like overhead of that area at the very end of last season, and then they like spanned out, it looked like it was the middle of nowhere. Like,
that's what I was gonna say. It felt like it was the middle of a forest.
Yes.
It like that nothing was around them, and they were
like a forest in Pennsylvania.
No man's land.
To be fair, it was a state park, so sometimes state parks can get pretty foresty.
That's true.
You know, the East Coast can be foresty.
Okay.
Also.
All right. I like the realism that we're bringing to the table.
Yeah.
That being said, let's jump into the story a bit. We can talk about blueprints all day long of this.
Oh, yeah, and I've totally spent time. I spent time in the forest of Pennsylvania, so there's totally trees like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
Beach Lake, Pennsylvania.
I feel like that's
right
a story.
Outside of Scranton.
Okay.
All right. Well, a story for another time. We can have a, sharing hour at some point about that. But I want to talk about their kind of lives in there, and how did do you think that they felt... I'm trying to like word this in the right way. So I want to know how Allison was able to figure out where they were.
Well, I don't think she figured it out. I think that she just knew that if she got away, he would find her, which he did, and he gave her the car, which told her where to go, and then he told her to get rid of all her clothes in the back of the car, and use her shoes. And
that was the saddest moment to me, is the loss of the shoes that had the chip in it that tracked her, the GPS. I just wear the shoes, like,
or take the. She knows where the thing is.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Just take it out.
Yeah.
They showed you where it comes out.
I know. But, I mean, like I said, they should have put it in her somewhere, under her skin.
I can't believe you actually suggested.
We both suggested this, and we think it's legit.
I would suggest it again.
At this point, I think it was a good request on our part.
I think that they all need trackers on them forever now. Like, I would feel comfortable never not having a tracker on me.
Okay.
I would be okay if someone put a tracker in me. Wouldn't you be okay? Like, don't you worry that...
Yes, that I'm going to get kidnapped.
Yeah, I feel like I'm worried. Like, I just saw this thing on Twitter, and it's super scary about how people are, like, drawing people into jobs, and then they're, like, giving them a bottle of water, and then they're dragging them and selling them into sex slavery. And that's a real thing that happens. I
feel like we just took a real turn, guys.
This show is getting pretty dark, so this could be where it's going.
All right, so
I would be okay with the tracker. I think we should put trackers in.
I am going to stick with the tracker in my phone for now. I'll keep you posted. I'll let you know later this season how we're feeling about the tracker inside of us. It's good. That being said, I really do want to get into Allison left that car behind. Did she think she was gonna survive? Did she know she was gonna find the girls? Like, that's where I was like, I would be panicked out of my mind, and even if I wanted to find the girls, I don't know that I could bring myself to put myself in that level of danger. Yeah.
I feel like, okay, so with this episode, I felt like it was really, really, really good. Okay. So I feel like we should have made this into either a 2-hour premiere or broken it up into 2 episodes, because I feel like it was the second part of it was a little too rushed. Like, we missed, like, what was her frame of mind? We don't know because we weren't there. It just, like, skipped ahead.
I also think that might be their point, to kind of confuse us, like, because now I really want to know what happened behind that door, and I'm just, obviously, I mean, I would watch anyways, but, like, I'm going to keep watching because I want to know what happened behind the door.
Yeah, I mean,
which I'm sure we'll find out about, and because they said let's never talk about it until we leave this place, so I'm sure we'll hear about it or see it or something, but
as I said at the top of the episode, though, I feel like left me with so many questions, that being paramount, and
which is actually, I feel like, kind of funny, because everyone's been saying the whole time this show has been on, once you find out who A is, how does the show go on? Because you found out who A is, that's the whole point, but obviously, I mean, they proved tonight, we found out who A is, and there's still a lot more to tell. So.
I agree with you on that, and also, we still really don't know. We know there's a person named Charles who is A-related, but is he the only A? Is he working with a team? Who else? And that will tease into some of our news and gossip as well. Ooh. So I feel like the fan theories are up and crazy. Yeah. It's good. I like it.
Yes, please tweet us your theories. We love them.
And they make us think all week long about, like, what's going on the show, because we, as we say all the time, we come in here straight after watching the show, and so it's always fun to kind of see what people are thinking, and we sometimes rewatch the episodes and we'll have other thoughts too, so it's definitely tweet us, let us know what you're thinking.
#ABTVPLL.
Yes. Good point. Yes. And also, I love that
They're
so cute.
Like, I was going to call them, like, junior detectives.
They're totally like having a bromance,
I know.
too. They're loving
Although
it.
they didn't seem to like each other.
Well, they're working together.
Yeah.
Ezra's like,
I'm going to deal with you because I feel like I have to, but let's never talk about this ever again.
Right. I mean, he is just like, I want to get Arya back. That's his bottom line.
That's so sweet.
Yeah.
It just makes my heart big.
I know.
No one would ever do that for me. Well, maybe my parents, but...
Yeah. I'll do it for you.
Yeah, there you go.
If I get kidnapped, I expect to see you.
I will put a tracking device in you.
There you go. We got this. Can you guys just track me from my phone? Is that okay?
Well, I don't
if you
know.
go missing and someone takes your phone, we're just gonna be like,
exactly.
Well, Stephanie went missing and she declined the tracker.
So,
all right, you're making me reconsider. Guys, all right. I just wonder, though, will this team last? Because they were having a bit of a bromance and a bit of an argument.
Now that they've got their girlfriends back, I think that they're done.
They're done.
Yeah.
I still feel like they still got to be buddy with each other. Their girlfriends are best friends. They have to be.
But I don't feel like they ever need to hang out.
They're not going for their Boy Scout detective badge anymore.
Yeah, no, I don't think they'll hang out by themselves.
Maybe just to get that.
Yeah. We've all been there. I know, we're really just going on the tangents today. Sorry, guys. I don't know, though. That was my favorite, actually, moment in the episode. Of course it was. If you have watched our show before, you know this. The reuniting with... What was going to be your favorite moment?
Oh, I thought you were just talking, like, Ezra in general, and I was like, yeah, he was my favorite moment, too.
You guys, he had some scruff going on tonight. It was kind of hot.
Yeah, I mean, he was looking good.
He was looking real good.
But Ezra...
I feel like Toby was weird this episode.
Yeah, I kind of got that vibe too.
He was so awkward. And then when he called Spencer babe, I was like, oh, I don't...
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
I don't know if that's right yet. No.
They reunited today. It was like, we're back together. I saved you. We're on this.
Kiss.
I also think it's interesting. He seemed to be, maybe I'm wrong and tweet me if you feel I'm incorrect about this, taking a lot of credit for finding those girls when I feel like
he just like oversaw it.
Yeah. I mean, I just felt like really that was a Caleb, Ezra, Allie thing. Got together. And poor Mona.
I know.
Yeah, so she gets put in the hole. That's scary.
Awful.
I mean, that reminded me, there were moments tonight that reminded me if you watch Scandal, and that was definitely one of them.
Too.
Yeah, this like
kind of
dark
copying it a little bit, like the hole. They call it the hole too.
Yeah, it's just like I mean, it wasn't as scary as Scandal hole, admittedly, but it was still like a deep.
What though? What I'm wondering is, because we saw them go into their rooms and scream, and then it flashed forward 3 weeks forward to Allie's thing, but when we came back to them, they all looked different, and they looked as though they hadn't seen each other.
Yeah.
So have they been in their rooms alone the whole time, do you think?
That's what I got.
Okay, so they have been separated. Okay.
Yeah. What did you think about, I wanted him as a suspect on our personal list, but again, that fast forward in time is messing with our heads because we don't know why he was fully made a suspect. Like, he had sketchy behavior, and we can all agree on that, or I hope we can all agree on that. But to be made a suspect, like, what did he do?
I feel like we're, again, missing bits and pieces that they're going to have to, like, rewind and go back and tell us what happened.
They will.
Yeah, that would be my assumption as well, is that they're going to do some sort of flashback this season to get all those pieces.
I feel like we're going to get a lot of flashbacks.
Yeah.
But I like that. I like that the way that they did it, because I now and I know what I want to know, so that makes it worse.
I mean, yeah, I agree. I also want to talk about Sarah Harvey.
Yes.
Yeah.
Interesting. She has been there a long time.
Right, because you saw those checks on her board wall, whatever, and she's been there. I did not pause to try to count like years. It did not look.
But she went missing. Yeah, she went missing around the same time as
which is now
Allie, which is 2 years.
Yeah,
about or 2 or 3 years ago.
Right, and so I can't even imagine that. Like, and she looks so just scared and disheveled and just not.
But her highlights were just still.
They were on point.
I was gonna actually say that. The girls,
she must be a natural blonde.
She must.
Yeah.
She's great color.
The girls all looked like they had dirt on them and like a little frizz in their hair, but still like pretty on point.
I was laughing because like as the rain's pouring down and then they wake up the next day, their hair is still pretty darn curly. And then I think it's
like natural.
Yeah, I think Hannah had her hair in like towel holder come from.
Yeah, I know, exactly.
Besides them in the bathroom.
One, obviously. It just was so weird though, because I kept looking and I was like, wow, you're like sleeping outdoors for days, and like it would be like rat nesty hair, I would imagine, by the end of that experience. And these girls were like perfectly.
They still looked beautiful.
Yeah,
that's why we hate them.
That's why they're just. and they're on the show and we're not.
Valid point as well, for sure.
I feel like we need a picture of just like us now, like what we look like.
Take a picture when we wake up tomorrow morning, and we'll let y'all know if we look
okay. 20 times worse.
I was gonna say our Pretty Little Liars retreat when we go on our camping retreat.
That would be so fun.
No, you guys, A will get us.
Yeah, just be like, it's totally fine, girls. Like, we're just a show on our show. It's great. That being, yeah, no, we can't do that. We can't. What do you think about the girls escaping or getting out now? And they chose
It was so easy.
It was so were at the right door. The guys pulled it open, and they were
How
right.
convenient.
Yeah.
Shockingly convenient.
Shockingly
convenient.
And they were right there to just ran to the first person.
Yeah, I would have too. Like, anyone, hug me.
They're like, oh, this one's mine and that one's yours. I've been like, person.
Someone outside of the barbed wire. I'm here.
Okay, so I'm probably going to get a lot of slack for this one, but I kind of once again felt like it was rushed. Like, I didn't expect them to get out this episode. I expected this to drag on another couple episodes.
I thought that we were heading towards them getting out. I could feel it. I was like, I feel like they're going to get out this episode. But I am glad that they did, because I can't emotionally handle them
this
in
was
there.
hard.
Yeah.
Once the fire started, we're like, okay, well, they have to get out now. They're not going to burn in here. So.
I was going to say, that is one of the great charms of when you watch a scary show. You know the lead cast is...
They're gonna
most likely going to survive.
Exactly. Allie can't run this show on by herself.
Yeah, so like, hopefully, as unfun as logic is, logic does play in, and you're like, wait, they're not going to burn the 4-4.
Although, I mean, Nina Dobrev left the Vampire Diaries, and that was kind of her show.
No, it's true. I mean, there's examples of it.
Leaving them.
Yeah.
No, but like, what if one of them was like, oh, I can't.
I can't even imagine the show without all
even without
so integral
Janelle
to it.
Parrish. Like, when we thought that she was dead, it was like, you can't even think about her not being on the show. And I actually thought about this while watching tonight. Is like, I'm so glad she's still here.
Yeah.
Like, she's so good.
Yeah, she's really good.
It's so funny because we always talk about the 4 core girls, and now I feel like Mona and Allie are so integral. It's now 6 girls.
It's now 6, you're right.
That I feel like, what would we do without these girls a part of it? And I feel like a lot of fans of ours would feel about some of the guys as well.
So I was just thinking, you can't get rid of Toby now.
Yeah.
Can't get rid of Ezra.
Yeah.
Can't get rid of Caleb. Like, they're all here.
I'm actually really liking this question, so tweet at us and let us know if, like, who your favorites are, if there's somebody that you couldn't watch the show if they had left, like, what would happen if we kind of...
I feel like a lot of fans would be so upset if their favorite character left, and they probably wouldn't come back, you know? Because they're so devoted to these characters.
Yeah, and to go to your point about Nina Dobrev, we haven't seen an episode of Vampire Diaries without her yet, so it's going to be really interesting.
And you haven't seen, like, what their ratings are going to be like, because I'm kind of, I don't know, I might watch the first episode, but I'm a big Vampire Diaries fan. Like, without, like
that love triangle,
without her and Ian together, it's just I'm just not really interested.
It's going to be an interesting evolution for them, and it would be so crazy. It would be like one of the Friends leaving. Like, it would be that level of like fandom around it.
That's why I think they would just, if someone was like, I want out, they would be like, let's finish this season and be done.
Luckily the girls show and not leaving, so that's great.
10 years, guys. 10 years.
10 years.
10 years. We love it. I'll watch till the very last day, let's be honest. So to go back to the storyline again, Toby was the one to recognize the song, though, which is "Don't Sit Under the Apple Tree."
It was a fake recognition.
Okay.
Because he was like, it was planned. They planted it. Fine, and then...
I had to wonder, I mean, I know they were doing it so that she could escape and help and find the girls, but it was so interesting to kind of use the police in that way.
Yeah.
Because that's the first time we've really seen the girls.
Rosewood PD fails us yet again by not keeping their eyes on Allie, but it all turned out good in the end. So
they make me so sad. It's so corrupt.
It's like, really? When a 17-year-old girl can outsmart you?
Yeah. I think it was so weird, though, that they would decide to plant the the pig with the hoodie on, and then like the oink noise. Like that's just so over the top. Like,
Yeah.
did you really need to do all of that?
It's very A.
It is
Yeah.
so A. Do we feel like once the girls are out, do they know who that masked person, or will they have any way of identifying the masked person if there was like a lineup?
I don't
I don't
think
think
so.
so.
I don't think they have any clue.
No, I know, and I wanted them to rip off the mask.
Well, that's what I'm wondering how, like, if all of them are screaming like that, I don't feel like he's doing something to them.
Yeah.
I feel like they're
They're like watching
something.
Yeah.
Yes, because I don't think that there's enough A's to go around. I mean, maybe there is a team, maybe there isn't. We can discuss that later, but I don't feel like he can outpower them.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, unless he's holding a gun to your head, like it's just.
I don't feel like he's ever been like physically abusive.
Right.
It's more emotionally abusive.
Mentally, yeah.
Right.
So I feel like he's emotionally toying with their
Yeah.
heads, and I feel like he's got them, under this spell
Yeah.
or whatever in that dollhouse.
So creepy and scary.
Yeah.
Yes. And can we talk about the film as well?
Yes.
Because I feel like fans will be upset with us if we don't
Yeah.
talk about this
Right.
film, where it shows the mom with the two young boys. We had a disagreement while we were watching about they're twins, brothers. I say twins, but we had some disagreement.
Maybe.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We'll see. This is the
And
first time all four girls have seen it, because before it was just Spencer who
Right.
had seen this video.
right. And who do we think the brothers are? Are they De Laurentiis brothers?
I think they're De Laurentiis'
Well, yeah,
brothers.
I feel like they have to be De Laurentiis brothers because she says, "Do you want to kiss your sister?" Now, whether or not that's Andrew or Charles is Andrew, or if they are both Charles and Andrew and Jason's not there, or if Jason's one of them, I don't know.
See,
Yeah.
my immediate thought when I was taking my notes, I wrote Jason's twin dash Charles.
That's what I think.
And so that would be my guess. I feel like Andrew is involved in all of this, but I don't think he's the twin, if you will. Does that make sense?
Right.
I don't know, though. I'm a little weary of that video. I kind of want to rewatch it.
I think watching the previews and seeing Mr. De Laurentiis like answering to Allie like, "Who is Charles De Laurentiis?" and he said like, "What?" and she's like, "No, not what, who?" And like his reaction, I feel like he knows exactly who that is, and they've tried to cover this story or person or whatever this entire lifetime.
I am really excited for next week.
Did you guys see one little thing that I noticed was it says on when they're watching a news reporter, you see her like talking in front of the van, and then when they're looking at the license plate, it says Radley has closed its doors. Did you see that going across the bottom?
No, I missed that.
That's a good call.
Yeah.
I never touch things like that. I'm like,
Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was talking about how Radley has closed its
I mean, I'm convinced Radley plays a huge part in this because if you
Totally.
She
think about
always says it all goes back to Radley and Marina does.
right, so I think that is going to be really interesting to kind of see where that takes us, and because you have now we know the De Laurentises are involved, you have Radley, and there's
And Radley and the De Laurentises were mixed
Yep.
because we know that Jessica De Laurentiis was on the board.
and then we have fan theories.
Where's Hannah with her like pie charts and
I was gonna say,
and flow graphs?
That is actually a
Flow
great
graphs.
point that I forgot to say at the beginning is that Hannah will be back with us next
will.
week and more fun with her. Pretty Little Liars fun. So you make fun of me all the time. It's cool. I don't mind. But it's interesting though that that's where we're going, but all these fans have been tweeting about if one of the girls is involved, and so
No, I don't think at this point.
But you don't know what happens behind closed doors.
True. Unless they're
And,
really
like,
faking it.
Yeah, and you don't know what kind. I mean, putting themselves outside for an hour, or not for an hour, for like days, and without food or water, that's miserable. But like, they know what they can take, and you would have to be crazy. But
Right.
It could be.
I think so many people would be so upset.
It's like one of the characters being cut out of the show or not being on the show anymore.
I feel like I would rather have that happen than have one of the girls be A at this point.
Really? I think that would keep things so interesting.
Well, no, I'm saying if they ended it that way.
See, what I was going to say the exact opposite is that I wouldn't want one of the girls to be revealed as A now, but in the final episode, what an intriguing twist. But if they did that, I would need the flashbacks of how they accomplished it at all.
And I would know the whole next season.
I would need to know why. Like, no matter how they end it, I need to have a full backstory. Like, I need to be able to come to terms with it.
You know what would be interesting? Okay, so we have this season, and we know we have one more season after this.
Absolutely.
So say they get through this entire season, and they just lay it all out in the final episode, like, done deal, boom, and then the final season is, like, rewinding all the way back to season 1, like, here's this, like, literally, like, they were all in your face, and we missed every single one.
Yeah. I think I've done this whole comparison before, but have you ever seen the movie Now You See Me? Or Now You...
Yeah.
It's now
how
you,
they do that at the end.
It's Now You See. Okay. Now You See Me.
I kind of remember that movie.
It's a magic movie, and they get to the end, and the last 10 minutes of the film is like a rewind of how it was all done.
Oh.
And like that's what I need if they were to make one of the girls A. I kind of need that regardless.
I need that regardless, actually.
I agree. But luckily, as we said, we have 2 more seasons to go.
Yeah.
So it's not coming to an end yet. But we should jump into some news.
Okay.
AFTERBUZZ TV News.
So that being said, we have a little gossip. This is actually from kind of the end of season 5. It was released in March, but I definitely wanted to talk about it. There's a time jump coming up on Pretty Little Liars. So at the end, it sounds like after the first 10 episodes, which will be kind of the end of part A of season 5, if you will, this summer, we'll get a time jump of missing college for the girls, and they'll come back and be adults, and we'll get to see kind of who they're with and like how they're dressed and where they're living and all of that stuff. I'm assuming all back in Rosewood.
Yeah,
I'm gonna make a prediction there.
So excited for that.
Yeah,
I think that's gonna be so interesting.
I'm really excited because I think it's such a smart move because in college they all have different dreams. They'll probably end up in different schools, so they can't be united in the same way. So I think for storytelling purposes, what a great move.
Yeah.
Yep.
I agree. I'm so excited for that. And then we have a little bit from Sasha, who of course plays Allie. She talks about her predictions for season 6 to Us Weekly and says, I honestly think Charles is the A, but Marlene King is always up to something. I might be wrong. And her favorite theory, though, and this plays back to what we were talking about, is Charles not acting alone, but acting with Maya, who, if you remember Maya, who, of course, died in season 2.
Yeah, she was my guess.
Yeah.
At the end of season 5, I was like, when we walked out of when I walked in, I was like, I think Maya's involved. Just because of all the things fans were tweeting me, I was like, I feel like Maya's involved somehow.
Yeah, so I think that would be a really interesting twist, though I have to say, now that she said it, I question whether that's going to happen.
Yeah, my only question, the first thing that I think of is, okay, Maya was still in high school, wasn't she?
Yeah.
So if she died or went missing, and your mom doesn't have a body and you're missing,
right,
that's a little red flags there, like,
right.
Nobody, like, that's my thing is Allie was supposed to have died, she didn't die. Mona was supposed to have died, she didn't die. Sarah Harvey wasn't she supposed to have died, she didn't die. So like no one's actually died. So like do we know that Mrs. De Laurentiis is dead? Because she hasn't actually died. Maybe she's in the dollhouse somewhere.
I was gonna say, do we have any actual?
Oh my gosh, I wonder if her and Charles are working together.
So
it's like
oh my gosh, it makes so much sense.
We just created our own sound effect, guys.
Yeah, at this point, I don't believe anyone is dead.
Yes. Thank you, Alexis. That
so
was
amazing. Perfect. So, yeah, I don't know. That's like one of those crazy theories of, has anyone really died on the show? Are we living in like a Tower of Terror situation of, I don't know.
Interesting.
So crazy to think about.
I'm so going with that Mrs. D and Charles together.
I know. You have to tweet us and let us know what you're thinking. Rate us on YouTube and come and subscribe on YouTube and let us know what you're thinking about the show, because there's so many theories and it's so crazy. But on a less crazy note, Shay Mitchell is writing a book with her that'll be out in October. It sounds like a super fun book. It's about a 21-year-old named Sophia, and Hollywood's the backdrop, and they describe it as a novel for all the single people out there. So definitely something to check out. It's about love, friendship, and finding yourself.
Cool.
That sounds lovely.
Yes. When I was pulling the news and gossip, I was like, oh, that sounds like a really sweet story. It's a nice little break from the Pretty Little Liars craziness.
She's like, I need something more lighthearted.
Yeah. It's too bad it doesn't come out before summer's over, because I'm looking for a good summer book.
I know. That is me too.
Yeah, I need a beach read. That sounds awesome.
I know. We need some
Next summer.
Yeah.
Next summer.
Be patient.
I don't read in the fall.
Clearly, Kristin reads from July and all.
July.
Yeah.
To LA, it's summer year-round here, people.
Yeah, exactly. We're big readers here, clearly. All right. Well, let's get into predictions.
All right.
And now, your AFTERBUZZ TV predictions.
I feel like I want some music behind that so I can dance while we're reading through it. And I'm just like,
I feel like we've been doing predictions this entire episode.
I know. With the
I
show,
know, you
though.
can't. You really can't.
I have to say that we saw all four couples, am I right, reunite tonight?
Oh yeah. Well, oh yeah.
So we have
MSN. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
sure,
so
yeah.
four couples united again. I think very quickly one of those couples is going to fall apart. I hate to say that.
Well, I think that they're just gonna be so traumatic, but
I know fans were tweeting possibly that it was Toby and
I hope.
I feel like if anyone, it's gotta be them.
Yeah, but in some ways, I kind of think that they were so they were the most excited to be reunited.
I
don't know.
and Hannah were like, never leave me ever again, and he was like, never.
Right.
Yeah.
It's really a
I feel
notebook-worthy moment.
I don't know. I still don't really trust Toby.
I don't either.
Yeah.
I don't either.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say we're going to find out at least partially the identity of Charles by the end of this summer season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't think we'll fully know everything about A. I'm not saying we're going to have all the answers. There's still more to come on
There
the
is
show.
the summer of answers.
Ezra and Arya are not together right now, technically.
But they're
I think they are immediately.
all right.
I think that she's going to be like, I just went through a lot. I need you to be there for me emotionally. I don't need to rush into a relationship. Because that seems like something she would say.
I don't know.
But I think he just wants her back. He just wants to have her.
They have her be safe.
Yeah,
okay. I can see that.
Not I need you to be my girlfriend and we need to go on 6 dates a month or something.
Right.
You know?
I feel like though, because of the emotional neglect that she, I feel like he's going to be there to comfort her.
Yeah.
And it's going to naturally progress.
Exactly. That's kind of what I think too. I don't think that we're going to be like, oh, hey, you're my boyfriend. Okay.
Yeah. I feel like it's just going to kind of progress and it's just going to be not talked about, but they're together.
Yeah.
Maybe something by the end of the summer
Yeah, definitely.
season. It's interesting to think about for sure.
Yeah. I'm really curious about this.
I the relationship statuses. I know there's so many right now, but that's something that I always think about.
How is Sarah Harvey going to fit into all of this? And how did she fit into all of this in the beginning? Was she just a replacement, Allison? Or
I feel like, because she's wearing the yellow shirt or whatever.
How is it going to play out as it goes on?
So crazy that we're essentially getting the seventh girl that may have a lot more answers. I mean, she was there for so long that maybe she has knowledge that the girls don't.
I feel
and why did Mona not say anything about her?
Right, but I feel like maybe she did something wrong, and that's why Mona was taken as her replacement as the new Allie. And I don't know, maybe if Mona even knew if she was there, because she seemed like she was kind of in an isolated, cave-like almost thing, you know?
Because
she didn't have a room.
I can't imagine them leaving one girl behind. If they even if they didn't know her.
Well, the girls I don't think knew, because they looked surprised when they said, "Oh, there was another girl down there." But did Mona look surprised? I don't know.
I feel like they all.
Yeah, I feel like they all were.
I still don't even know if I can trust Mona.
I want to.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I want to. I don't know that I can.
Right. She's been through a lot too.
It's tough.
Well, we think.
We think. We don't really know.
I was gonna say it's all kind of. There's lots of questions at this
Right.
point, but that's kind of always the beginning of every season on Pretty Little Liars.
Yeah.
Is that you
It's
have
the beginning of every episode.
Yeah.
it's a lot. There's a lot of questions. Let's be honest. But this was a fun. I'm so glad to be back, and it was so fun.
Exciting.
Yeah.
This episode
I've been
was so
looking
good.
forward to this.
Me
I
too.
smiled the whole drive up here.
Yeah, it is really fun to talk about this show, and as it changes and like there's more drama, there's always something to talk about. So continue to tweet at us, let us know what you're thinking on YouTube, SoundCloud, all of it. We want to hear from you, and you can also go ahead and take our survey at podcast1.com. You can find me on Twitter at Stephanie Wenger and AFTERBUZZ at AFTERBUZZ TV.
Kristin Strange, and on Instagram at Kristin Aubrey Strange.
You can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at Heather Joy Smith.
And we'll see you all next week. Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.